Hi, everybody. Welcome into the building. It is tea time with the diva. Okay, what tea are you drinking? Are you drinking coffee? Or are you drinking just water? I stopped by Starbucks this morning and I got my tea there. Okay, and I'm still sipping on it. Listen, guys, this tea time is dedicated to Johnathan Majors. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. And for all you out there, hit that like button. And if you're already a subscriber, welcome back to all of you out there. Okay, and chat with me in the comments. And when I get opportunity, I will chat back. So this tea time is dedicated to Johnathan Majors. I had to go digging because it was a little bit shocking to me that not one friend, not a one, not even his baby mama, because he has a daughter. Her name is Ella. I want to say she's 9 years old. Not even the baby mama has stepped forward to say, listen, y'all got it twisted about Johnathan. He's a good person. Now, we back up a little bit. You know, Johnathan in March was accused of putting his hands on a female. She retracted her statement, but it didn't matter. It was too late. Once it's in the cops' hands, it's in the cops' hands, and they have to decide what they're going to do about it. They arrested him. His court date is coming up soon. It's coming up in May. And it happens at, that happened at a critical point in his career. At the point where he was rising to the top, boop, somebody popped the bubble and his star came tumbling down. He had a lot of projects in the works, but was in a lot of good things already when this happened. Just was riding off the high of Creed 3, also off the high of Ant-Man, Quantumania. And all of a sudden, this situation comes out with him putting his hands on somebody. But then other people started trickling out and saying stuff, right? The whispers were coming. The streets started talking, saying, yo, that's who he is. He's nasty. He's mean. And then I said, let me dig. Let me see what I can find. And then I'm gonna say, unfortunately for him, although this is his truth, I think it's gonna hurt his case if these lawyers and prosecutors go digging like I was digging, and I didn't even have to dig hard. He did an interview back in February. He talked about his anger issues. In his own words out of his mouth. So before y'all start saying diva, 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 don't do that to a black man. Usually, when I say stuff, I'll let you know when it's my opinion, and I will let you know when I found some information that stated such. He did an interview, and out of his own mouth, people, not out of Diva's mouth, he said, I am angry. And once again, if you don't want to hear me, read the article. I'm going to put it in the description. Go pull up the article yourself, read it, and then chat with me in the comments. But chat with me after you read it. Don't chat with me based on the title of this video. Don't chat with me, hear 2 words and be like, oh, Diva, no, you making that up. I'm not making this up. Out of his own mouth, he said, I'm still angry. Now, let's look at this article here. Let's get into this, and we're going to chat. Okay? I'm going to talk about this. It's out of Johnathan's own mouth, people, not Diva. Okay? So it said Johnathan Majors, and this happened in February, this article, prior to the situation with the girl, right? It's ironic how things play out in life. And they said, sometimes your own mouth will get you in trouble. Johnathan Major opens up about anger towards his father who abandoned him, his relationship with his daughter, the book of poetry he's writing, and why he doesn't think he's made it yet. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, he doesn't think he's made it yet because he's still waiting for the father who had never acknowledged him, who left him and abandoned him, to acknowledge him. And sometimes with people in those situations have to understand it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Okay, unless your father has an aha moment, you could be out there making all the money you want. You could be at the top of your game, and they left. They're not coming back. Just days before he plays King the Conqueror on the big screen in Ant-Man in the Wasp Quantumanium, Johnathan Majors is opening up on a wide variety of topics. The 33-year-old actor spoke at length with Mr. Porter in a new interview where he opened up about his past, present, and future. He also opened up about his relationship with his 9-year-old daughter, Ella, who lives on a farm property Major owns in Atlanta, his upcoming book of poetry, and much more. Now, see, this is interesting. They never mention his mom. I can't find one interview, not his mom, one interview where they mentioned the daughter, the daughter's mother. I couldn't find one. But not only that, forget about that. Why isn't she speaking up for him? Now, they also say that she lives on a farm property that he owns. Not that he lives there with her, that he owns. See, we got to dig into the lines and read this stuff. So I wonder if she's living there with her mom and he owns the property. Who knows? Okay. And it's interesting that he's writing a book of poetry. Majors was born in California and spent part of his childhood on an Air Force base, with his father serving in the Air Force. He stated in 2020 that our father, okay, so his father and I guess his siblings, he loved us dearly. Now, people may question that because how do you love someone dearly, but then you disappear and you don't come back until 17 years later? I don't know how much love that is, right? Just kind of disappeared one day. So he didn't say goodbye. According to this, Johnathan he didn't know maybe my mother and father was breaking up. He just disappeared. And he resurfaced 17 years later. So that means you're adult now. You're 18 or older. And now he's coming back. Well, you was already raised. Your personality was already set in place. Whew, it's a lot. Majors also stated in an interview that his father abandoning him for years is still a big source of anger for him. Do y'all see that? This is not me making this up. He said, I'm still angry. He's still pissed off about it. And so situations like this is where children need therapy. But sometimes as parents, so I'm not blaming his mom, you don't recognize how much a child is really going through, because sometimes they don't even tell you, I'm super sad because dad left. You think all is well. They seem happy. They're still playing with their toys. They're still going to school. They're getting good grades. They're hanging with their friends. But meantime, they're pissed off inside and you don't even know. He said, I'm still angry. He's 33 when he did this article, an adult, and he's still angry that daddy left him when he was younger, just abandoned him. He used the word abandoned them. Okay, I still got that dog in me that has something to prove. These are his words. I still got that dog in me that has something to prove. To the dad that left me. Okay, so all of this performance and in these streets, he's still waiting for his dad to recognize him. And I'm not trying to be funny, guys. He needs a hug from his father. He needs his father to come back and say, I love you. I'm sorry. I messed up. And so when people have this inside of them, he's still mentally, probably in some way, shape, or form, he is still that little hurt kid whose father left him, abandoned him, and didn't say a word. Like left like a thief in the night. Let's continue. That's just the dad, right? He said that he's because he got something to prove, right? To the dad that left him, to the acting teacher that said I wasn't shit. Excuse my language, people. Do you see that? See, some of these teachers don't need to teach. So here he is. He already had issues with daddy. Now he bumps into a freaking teacher that tells us you ain't shit. You ain't never going to do anything. You're not going to be a good actor. So why are you here? Let's continue. The rich kids when I was growing up. So you got an issue with everybody. As much meditation and prayer that I do, no one transcends. So he's saying I can meditate all day long. I could pray to God, but this doesn't erase the fact of all that stuff I went through. still is in me and pisses me off. He said, adding at the pause, or to be clear, I have not transcended that. Okay. After moving to Texas following his father's departure, he went on to study at the University of North Carolina's School for the Arts and the Yale School of Drama, which he graduated from with an MFA in 2016. He landed his first major role as young Ken Jones in 2016 miniseries When We Rise, while still at Yale, which led to roles in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Okay, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. He said, I did quite well establishing that type of mentorship early on, he says, referencing the mentorship program he launched in December called the Gotham Sidney Poitier Initiative, named after the late actor who passed away last January at 94. He said, I hung his headshot up in my dormitory. The way they put the queen up, that's how I viewed him, Major said of Poitier. With the mentorship aimed at helping marginalized groups understand how the entertainment industry really works, which is backed by both Apple and Google. Okay, so this is a major program he was in. All right. He added the benefit I have is that I have a lot of allies. Okay, so pretty much he talks about how a lot of people in high places that happen to be white really stood by his side. Okay, he talked about the CEO of HBO. He has an ally there. President of Marvel, he has an ally there. And the reason why Marvel hasn't dropped them yet, what they're saying is they don't want him to sue them. So just in case this case on May 8th, he's found innocent, they don't want to drop him too early and then they get sued. So they're holding on to him for that. And he says about another producers, he said, these men have taken chances on me. Okay. And just because they all happen to be, he said, white boys who invested in me as an artist. Okay. He said, where I get hung up is when I look at my contemporaries or those coming up. This is going to be a hard road unless we partner with each other, he added, noting that his last 3 films were all directed by members of the African, diaspora under 40. That's not a coincidence. That's by design. He said, I do not decline work. Other folks just don't come to me. Okay. So he's pretty much said, listen, I'll work with whoever wants to work with me. Okay. He said, I don't decline work. Okay. So let's continue on. He also has a reference for, he likes poetry. Okay. Adding a mantra his mother made up and made him and his siblings say every day before they left the house, might make a good name for his book. Even if your boys were there, she said, listen, this is what his mother made them say. And I'm not mad at the mother. No drinking, no drugs, no sex. No drinking, no drugs, no sex. No drinking, no drugs, no sex. Okay. I should even though it's kind of late in the game, I should tell my son to say that when he leaves the door. No drinking, no drugs, no sex. That would be a good title for the book of poetry I'm working on, Major says. He added of the poetry, it will be a collection of 50 poems. Might get a little bit more. 50 is where we will start. They range from my senior year of high school to this morning at the Ritz-Carlton. Okay, this is where he happened. He was at the Ritz-Carlton when he was doing this interview, right? He said he passed down his love of poetry to his daughter Ella, adding, we like to shop together, read books, okay? And they have this a series of unfortunate events. I have her memorize poetry. Okay. He added, he has Ella memorizing poems of Mary Oliver, stating she has a whole section about dogs and my girl has her own dog. Okay. Still, despite all of his success, Majors doesn't think he's fully made it quite yet. Adding, he doesn't even think that way. Well, he doesn't think that way, and this is my opinion, because he's waiting on the approval of his dad. I would love to meet his father or see who his father is. I'm going to keep digging. I couldn't find anything. I'm going to keep digging, but I wish that his father would, and I'm not saying, I don't know if they, reconciled, but you can never fix the past. You can only deal in the present. And I wish in present day, his father will come help heal this broken soul. Okay. So that's that where he said, I'm still angry. Let me go to the next article where they talk a little bit more about his mom. And now Johnathan doesn't do social media, and maybe that is why I had so much trouble trying to find information on his mom and his dad. Usually, when you're looking for these things, you can find it in people's social media, but I'm going to keep digging because I would really love to know, who his dad is and what is his dad doing now. And did his dad have a whole nother family? And is that the reason why the dad just abandoned them? Like, like a thief in the night just left. So Johnathan Majors tells why he carries a little cup around, and it has to do with his mom. Okay, so his mom seemed like she did the best she could by instilling some good habits in him, but what she couldn't do is erase the anger he had or still has about his father leaving. And perhaps if she knew he was so angry about that, she could have dealt with it in a different way. He said, I'm 33 years old. I have been doing it since I left my mother's house when I was about 18. The Marvel star told Late Show host Stephen Colbert. All right. So, Stephen Colbert. So, Marvel actor Johnathan Majors has confirmed the original story of his little cup. So, he carries around this little ceramic cup, right? And the reason why he carries around because he said his mother, inspired him to carry it around. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna jump down to the reason why. So Major's mom was so terrified of him entering show business. He said that she tell him, among other things, to watch your cup, watch your glass, okay? And he said he always kept it in mind for safety, but now he says it means mind your cup. You are a vessel. Nobody can fill you up. Nobody can pour you out. You do that yourself. And so holding on to this is a reminder that even in this craziness that's happening, my self-esteem is my self-esteem, he added. Nobody can big me up, as it were, or tear me down. So you know what I take that as? You can't break my soul. You can't break my soul, okay? He's saying that I'm responsible for my self-esteem. So no matter what goes on around me, no matter what people say, y'all can't break me. Only I can break me. If I feed into it and feed into what y'all saying, that's where the brokenness is going to come in. And I do agree with him in terms of that statement. But the thing I want to add to that is his soul is already broken. And he just doesn't realize it. His soul is broken, all based on the fact that he hasn't healed from the childhood trauma of daddy leaving him all alone. Now, if you notice in the beginning, he said, our dear Father, our Father loves us dearly. How can he love you dearly, but then abandon you and not reappear until 17 years later? This is deep, guys. And see, here's the thing we got to add to this. No matter what happened in your childhood, if that anger and hurt and pain plays out in your adulthood in a negative way where you harm someone else besides yourself, you're going to have to pay the consequences of those acts that you do. So you got two choices when you recognize within yourself that you're still hurt over your past. You can go seek help to fix it, or you can pretend like, it doesn't bother you on that level. And then if it plays out and it impacts other human beings, you're going to have to suffer the consequences of what you do. So my heart breaks for him knowing the backstory, right? Knowing that he's dealing with all of these things playing in his head of rejection from the dad, rejection from the acting teacher that told him he wasn't shit, rejection of all the rich people when he was growing up, and he grew up, probably poor, especially since the dad left. A lot of families, even to this day right now, they wouldn't be able to survive without a two-income household. So imagine he's 33. Imagine back then. First, they had all the benefits. I'm not sure if the mom was in the military too, but they had all the benefits of a married family in the military, and then poof, dad is gone. So with dad went that extra income. With dad left that extra parent in the household. I don't know how Johnathan Majors' story is going to turn out, but we got a few days and we'll find peace of his faith at the very least, okay? Because he has to go to court May 8th for this situation that he got himself into, or that he was a part of, with the young lady when they was out partying in the bar or whatever the case may be. But regardless of how this situation ends up panning out, I pray that he gets the help that he needs, that he seeks therapy. There's a lot of times we think that we're handling something ourselves on our own, and it takes an outside person to say, you know what, you don't have this. You need someone outside of you to help you get through this moment. He said he meditates a lot and he prays, but he still has that anger. So that means you wasn't able to release that anger, and you need a therapist that is trained to help you do that. So listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. How do you feel about Johnathan Majors admitting that I'm still angry? How do you think that perhaps this situation, which is out there freely, right? So, I mean, if you're a lawyer or a prosecutor, you do your due diligence as they're gathering people. Because listen, they're saying there's a lineup of people that are ready to say how he has this type of behavior that, it's a mess. So take the people that is coming forth to speak upon his behavior. Take this article where he himself admits, I'm still angry. And unfortunately, the ops don't look good when you have all of that out there and you have someone saying he put his hands on me. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I will see you on the next video.